Should the Montreal Canadiens tank again, Mitch?
No, no, no. I can't do it again. It's enough. It's enough. Enough losing.
Yeah.
Enough
Because,
losing. Like,
last week with the win over Nashville, 4 points from the second wild card. As of this taping, Montreal is 5 points out of a wild card, the second wild card. A lot of teams congested between Montreal and Tampa Bay, right? Ottawa's in there, Detroit's in there. Down the list we go of teams that everyone's above the Montreal Canadiens, the last place team in the Atlantic Division. So, I mean, I know you don't want to do it because I feel the same way. I don't want to be talking about July 2025 and, who the Montreal Canadiens should take in December. But the team is there. It's where they are, competitively speaking. I mean, if you're in this spot 30 games, Mitch, I mean, it's the same thing. It cost me $5 to buy this. Well, now it's $7. If I'm in for 5, I might as well be in for 7. If I'm
yeah.
31st, I might as well be in for the tank, Mitch. Is my logic flawed there?
Well, look, I think only this past week they've had their full team
Yes.
play.
Yeah.
So I think you could maybe give it a stretch of games here where we see how they do with their full roster, because I mentioned that Patrick Laine's made a big difference. Now, like what are we talking about exactly when we talk about tanking and trying to get the first pick? Like,
Go
are we
ahead.
talking about as commentators or as fans cheering for losses? If you want to do that, that's fine. I'm not at that point. Now, if we're talking about management, I think at some point you do have to come together and make a decision as to what you feel about this season. You know, in February, that's when I think I would want to try to start having some conversations. What are we going to do here? Let's be realistic. Let's really take a look at where we are. What are we going to do here for the short, medium, and long term success of our team with Savard, Armia, Dvorak, and Evans? And at that point, if the Canadians say, you know what, we don't think this is a year where we're going to be able to make the playoffs, so we're trading off our pending unrestricted free agents to accumulate more draft picks and also worsen our team. Because if you remove those guys, you're going to get worse. To worsen our team, to drop a little bit in the standings in the hopes of getting a better pick. I'm all ears for that. But we're in December. So for management, there's no rush for that decision. The trade deadline is ways away.
Yeah.
And you're 5 points out of the wild card right now. Let's see what they do here with the rest of this homestand. Let's see what they do when they play really tough teams in late December, early January, and then let's reassess. But as a commentator and as a hockey fan, in December, 5 points out of the wild card, I'm not ready to start talking about Hagens.
So I'm watching the National Hockey League, as I often do, mixing it around. And I've really tried to train myself, because whenever I would watch the Philadelphia Flyers and I'd see this one particular player, I would just get a bit irritable, I'd get irritable. And there he was on a Saturday afternoon, scoring goals, back-to-back goals, helping his team. I was like, oh, he's having a good season, right? We're talking to, obviously, if you haven't picked up on the giant clues I've left here, we're talking about Matvei Michkov. 11 goals, 13 assists, 24 points after 25 games. This guy is a stud. Healthy scratch didn't seem to bother him. Integrated in the Flyers offense on a nightly basis. And I just have to buy into the storyline. I have to, because I like Ken Hughes. I like Jeff Gordon. I think they are the right architects to rebuild this Montreal Canadiens team. Just my opinion. And therefore, I have to believe the stories that were out that summer, that he just didn't want to be a Canadian. I'm going to believe the rumors because my brain won't let me get to the conclusion that Ken Hughes and Jeff Gordon looked at Matvei Michkov and said, thanks, but no thanks. Give me a defenseman that doesn't even come with the label of offensive promise. Give me a sound, fundamental defenseman in a draft where everybody was jumping over themselves, telling me how generational and deep this draft was. Mitch, the rumors have to be true, right? I mean, the guy's a point-a-game player. He's got 11 goals, man. The guy's a stud, Mitch.
People have really come at me for my takes on social media on this one because Canadian fans are really passionate. Now, I'm gonna talk about semantics a little bit here.
Go ahead.
Because when you say, and this is where people got upset with me
Yeah.
because I said that Matvei Michkov did not want to play in Montreal.
Right.
And they're like, "Oh, he never said that." You have
Well,
people
those are the
saying, "Oh, he
rumors.
was saying if the Canadians want me, they just have to take me." There was all this stuff, all this stuff. Now, I'm going to say semantics. I said that he didn't want to play in Montreal. He never explicitly said that. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
but but
Yeah.
but here's the semantics. He wanted to go to Philadelphia. Now, when I say he wanted to go to Philadelphia, to me that means he didn't want to go to Montreal. He didn't, right? But his landing spot, his desired spot to go was Philadelphia. I'll tell you this 100%, Shaun. I know it for
Let's
fact.
go.
Michkov and his agent manipulated the situation to ensure that he went to the team that he wanted to go to. It's as simple as that. And you say you believe in Kent Hughes and Jeff Gordon. If you put yourself in their shoes, you're running a team and first round picks that high, your selection on the line, millions and millions of dollars. And if you have a player that you're not sure about his desire to play for your team, you're not sure about how quickly he's going to come over. And by the way, that whole when is he going to come over thing, that was all manipulation on their part to get into Philadelphia. You're not sure about character because, again, they specifically manipulate the situation and rumors were floated out there on purpose. Can you invest millions and millions of dollars with those question marks if you're in charge? To me, the answer is no. If I'm
Correct.
drafting, I want players that
Correct.
want to be with me
And
because if I draft,
this
go
is
ahead.
you with your knowledge, right?
Yeah,
Like, and obviously I respect your opinion. I respect the angles that you come from, and no disrespect, but Ken Hughes knows more than you do,
of course.
right? And is more plugged in, and that's
Sean, he's
why,
not Sean. He's not stupid.
of course not.
These
Oh,
guys
he
know
knew. He
hockey.
knew. The rumors are true.
But the guy knows hockey. He knows how to
Yes.
evaluate talent. It's not like do people really believe that the Canadian scouts looked at Mishkov's play on the ice and thought he doesn't have talent and we can't take him? He's Reinbacher's the more talented player. Do people really believe that to be true?
Mitch,
These
the
professional
right-handed
scouts.
defenseman. How are you going to get a top four right D? That's the defense to why they didn't go for Michkov. It's so
It's
hard
not
to
the
get that guy.
it's not the reason though.
They got Gooley playing on the right side, Mitch.
Like they said, the Canadians said that Reinbacher was the best fit for their team.
Yeah.
Like do you think they're going to come out and say, yeah, Reinbacher, we don't think Michkov wanted to play for us, so that's why we took Reinbacher? Like, how the hell is Reinbacher going to feel then? Like, you have to say what they said after the draft, but there's no way they looked at Michkov and thought he wasn't talented enough.
Yeah.
The
What do you
question
think it
marks.
was then? Like, so you were on the same page, like, and I remember at the time too, is like it was the same playbook that Jaromir Jagr used to be a Pittsburgh Penguin. Apparently, Mario Lemieux went to Czechoslovakia when Jagr was a kid, and he saw him play. He's like, man, I want to play with that guy one day, and the rest is history. The rest is
Sure.
history.
Yeah.
And like, what was it? Like Sean Couturier, Joel Farabee, like Owen Tippett? Like, what do you think it was about?
You know,
If you
that
had
that
to guess,
that
what
that
do you think
that
it was?
that part of it's the ultimate question to me.
Maybe it was Ryan Paling. Ryan Paling has strong political views. I don't know. Like, what was it,
Well, he
Gallo?
does.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I don't know. That's the part of the equation I really can't understand. I'd love
Yeah.
to hear Mishkov to talk about it. But
Because there are other
and
markets in the NHL. You're like, okay, I could see you want to go to New York City. You know, I can understand the appeal of some markets. Like you want to be around Connor McDavid or Nathan McKinnon, you know, Kucherov or whatever. Like I can understand the appeal of some markets, some guys wanting to hold out because they want to go play for this team in that city. But like, no disrespect, people of the great city of Philadelphia, but like, I don't think you're all that special.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. But circling back to Montreal, I
Yeah.
can tell you that if I don't know when a player is coming, and I know that his desire is to play elsewhere, and I know that after the entry level contract, I might have an issue signing him to his next deal, or as soon as he's a unrestricted free agent at 25 years old, if he comes over at 18, 19, he is going to bolt for free agency as soon as possible. Like if I have all those questions and I'm trying again to plan the long term success of my franchise, I don't take him either. If all things are considered equal and I'm just selecting the best player, yeah, of course, Mishkov should have came to Montreal. But I'll tell you, the funny thing is, we talk so much about Mishkov and that draft.
Yeah.
Telling you right now, All right, what are we? We are December 2024. Telling you right now, Shaun, people are going to look back at this draft in 5 years. And yes, Michkov will still be a talking point, and it'll be like, why didn't the Canadians take Michkov? But people will be wondering why the Canadians didn't take Ryan Leonard. That is the guy that people are going to be upset
Ugh,
when they see him playing for Washington, that they took Ryan Bacher instead of Ryan Leonard.
yeah, yeah, because that's the other defense to the rumor being BS is that there were other very talented. As I led you in with this question, this was by all accounts from all of our trusted, credible. This is not an Eklund level dissection.
I forgot about
This
that guy.
this came from, remember that guy in that
Yeah,
Philadelphia connection
yeah,
too,
yeah.
right? When we're talking about the
E5,
Flyers.
E5, E5, E4, E3.
Remember when Sportsnet brought him in? They brought him in like anonymously. They remember they were all eating pizza at the trade deadline show.
It's
What a gong
kind of.
show.
I thought that was kind of creative. I thought it was funny.
Creative for sure, but like I like my hockey serious. I like the
Right.
TSN professionalism,
I
jacket,
get it.
tie,
Yeah, yeah,
Uncle Bob giving me the straight goods. You know what I mean? I don't need jeans and unbuttoned collars. I
That's
want my hockey
that's
Pat
okay.
Burns
Yeah.
style. I want serious stuff. Um, so that's the other thing. That I guess that's the other line of defense is that this was a generational draft, and we were told this for a year plus. And then when it's time to come to the table, it's a right-handed defenseman that they're not even saying he's a top pairing. Oh, he'll play one of the top two pairings, top four defensemen. That's what the rumor deniers will tell you is like, yeah, Ryan Leonard was on the board. The Canadians could have had him too.
They could have had him.
Yeah,
And NHL teams, not just the Canadians, by the way, NHL teams overrate right-handed shooting defensemen. They always have, and they always will.
that's fair. That's fair. That's Mitch Gallo, one half of Campbell v. Gallo, weekdays on TSN 690. You can listen to them online at tsn690.ca. And again, after every Montreal Canadiens game on your home for the Habs, TSN 690, as we get set to take you to the Christmas break. Don't forget, our email inbox is always open at the Shaun Starr Show at gmail.com. Galovich, if you're a Hebrew, that would be your name, Mitchell Galovich. Mitchell, thank
Yeah.
you so much as always. Let's do it again soon.
Cheers, brother.